it's supposed to feel.
Mute myself. Cool. This will be some cool market analysis live with the group. All right, so that's good. Now I have to go to YouTube and give you guys a stream. Share. Copy. Don't even have the Discord link up. Now it is up. Yeah, Bob, it's usually what it is. We'll see how it goes. Um, it may just kill it, right? It may just kill it. Someone on YouTube said that I should keep it all separate somehow, like a different graphics card. I wouldn't even know how to do that. So it was over my head. Okay, you guys, can you guys see that stream okay? How is the lag? Is it really terrible? You guys can tell me in Discord, wherever. Doesn't matter.
Uh, looks looks good.
Yeah, does it? What do you guys think? Do you think it would be easier to chat in YouTube because of the delay? Let's think about this. I'm gonna download it from YouTube and then upload it to Vimeo. Yeah, I'm not sure. Um, okay. Well, that's all right. We'll just try it this way. You guys can talk in Discord. All right, cool. So what screen are we on? Okay, Nasdaq. That's good. Okay, so just do a little quick overview. Over here is the stock trading chart. Okay, and it's got the top 6 market cap for Nasdaq. So we keep these up, and they're all linked, right? So okay, good. Easy to zoom in, zoom out, right? So they all maintain the same zoom level. And then right here, I'm just making sure that this is all going through. Right here on NASDAQ, we have, we'll just put a chart that everybody still has. We have the 5-minute overlay with 200 volume. So we get to see very easily how this thing moves in relation to these things moving up and down, right? So right off, just to get a lay of the land, we're kind of in garbage time. 8:18 in the morning for me right here. So if I were coming in looking to trade right now, I'd probably be asking myself a few questions. Is the market at rest? Is it compressing? And the first thing I notice is that, yeah, it's kind of compressing, right? It's been doing this. So it is compressing. Okay, so that immediately makes me think to myself, well, that's probably not the most optimal place to put on risk on a short time frame, but maybe on a bigger time frame I can put risk on. Okay, so let's zoom out. Let's look at these underlyings and see what they're doing. Okay, so there's this trend line here with Apple. I don't really know what that trend line. What is that trend line? Okay, so note to self, go back and look at that trend line on the higher time frame. Okay, Microsoft, got really nothing around, right? It didn't even touch its 5-minute closing view app. It's just been bullish today. Pre-market and actually Google was strong pre-market off a 5-minute closing view app, and then it punctured it at the open. So a little weaker. I'm sick, so my nose keeps. I keep having to suck boogers up my nose, so it keeps clogging, and then I have to eventually blow it out. So this is why you're going to hear lots of delays in this recording. Amazon has held its 5-minute closing view app. Didn't even get to T2. It's looking incredibly bullish. If you kind of zoom in on Amazon, it's right now is like holding above VWAP. So when stocks start to look like that, people start getting really bullish. So what ends up happening usually is you test range highs, and then if it can't go anywhere, it'll usually go back. Okay, so just little side note. NVIDIA is just going up and down. So this is VWAP, up and down through VWAP. So it'll probably come back in. Tesla, this is the one I noticed right away. Held VWAP and held 5-minute closing VWAP and didn't even go to T2. It'll eventually probably go take VWAP stops. Just how she moves intraday usually. Okay, so a little lay of the land. All right, so going back to Apple, you've got to ask yourself, what is that trend line? Okay, so let's go to the trend line. That's okay. Where did that come from? There's a trend line on this chart somewhere, right? All right, so it's here on the daily. So it's not the daily. Oh no, that's not Apple. Like, where's? Here's Apple. There you go. All right. So Apple, now that we're looking at the right stock, is against a higher time frame upper channel. Look, here, 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 and it's starting to come in, right? Made a failed low. It's it's at about the point in this area, maybe a little higher here, where it probably comes back in and retests this area. But now at least we know what we're dealing with Apple, right? Why it looks so strong. Sorry. It filled some gaps here. Filled this gap today and kept going. So it didn't this week fill the gap and come back in. It filled it and kept on the second 30-minute bar, tested the top, and it is now pushing up. So it's actually quite strong. And Apple didn't do so great right at earnings. So it's a strong stock today, right? Likely moving this market up a little bit. Okay. We've got old singles extending out here on Apple that still need to hit, right? So a little bit higher into the 180, 181s. That acts like a magnet point. Has not hit 50% of its daily TPO, right? Hasn't even hit 50%. So usually a stock will at least make some attempt at like up here. And then if it's weak, it'll roll over here and not even get to 50%. So I still think it has some upside left in it based on this TPO chart. Let's go look at the weekly. A thin volume in time here. So this value area high, 180.28, would be a good target area. And see if the market comes to rest here on Apple at this area. So on the weekly, doesn't look so bad. And then the daily, obviously, zoom out. Doesn't look too bad, does it? I don't think it looks too bad. It looks pretty good. Little fail breakdown, right? So some sideways and then maybe up for Apple. So but at least now we know where this trend line comes from, because you wouldn't want to be looking at the execution. You're like, hey, what's this trend line? And it was actually kind of reactive this morning. But where does it come from, right? You could tell that the angle or the slope of the trend line is really from a higher time frame because of how it looks. Or at least I can. And I forgot it was that channel up there. All right. So in the time it took to go over that, the markets have moved a lot, right? And you're like, well, geez, man. They've been up, down, yin, yang, all that stuff. Well, talking takes a lot longer than does clicking and looking at it for yourself. And so that's why this is hard. And that's okay. So we're just going through methodically and just kind of looking at the charts to get an idea. All right, so let's go up, and the time it takes me to click to a different screen, it's gonna market will probably have made some moves, but that's okay. So I'm gonna go to my lower upper 49 ES chart. Let's see. Upper 49 NQ. There it is. Right there. All right. So this is the higher time frame chart for the NASDAQ. So first, let's start with the 30-minute. And let's take this screen and let's drag it to the middle. And then it'll snap because I'm touching the quadrant, I guess, right in the middle. And so that's a cool little thing. I'm just making sure that enough of the screen is showing here. Okay, we're good. All right, so today's market, first off, we have a gap here, right? We've got a gap in this one. Let's see, hold on. We'll just repair this real quick. And then we have today, that was a gap. And it goes from here to here right now. That's an open gap for today, right? So 11.6 gap. Let's just get an idea. It's a good way for you guys to do this. All right. So on this chart, let's see, can you guys see it okay? Yeah, you should be able to. All right. We have this pin bar here. And that's susceptible to weakness in through here. Teddy mentioned, hey, it looks like balance. I agree with him. It does look like balance. All right, so that's susceptible to weakness. So there might be a trade. There might be a trade if we start to break below this inverted hammer after flushing it. There might be a trade to trade back into this area here and totally fill that gap. All right. And then this is sort of like T1, I think, right in this area, right? And then we have gap here. We have L3, right? We've got volume building this week like this. So the profile looks like that. So some sort of move like that. Be totally natural, right? So there's potential today to take a swing trade that first takes you into this gap where you cover some, right? After you maybe build volume up here, and then it comes in. But the thing is, you know, on this 30-minute chart, which is what this is, 30-minute chart, distribution often occurs like this. You guys know that, right? On this chart, it takes several days. So if on day one, which is this is day one of a new week, right? New volume profile here. You're assuming the market hit your spot and it's going to go like that without any position building or distribution. If you're assuming it's all going to happen on day one, your probability of success is probably 1/3 or 33% or something like that. Because you would expect multiple days of consolidation before and distribution before any reversal. So Alec is saying is there a live video stream? I don't see it. I linked you to it, Alec, up in the chart. It's at 8:15. Let's see, about 13 minutes ago. Teddy just relinked you the feed, but it's just, yeah, it's okay. All right, so you would expect for there to be multiple days before this turns over. So what does that tell you about targeting this in this session? It tells you that your probability of success, or P, probability of success, is actually low. Even though, let's say you enter here with the stop here, looking for this, looking for that, and I don't know, let's just say filling in of this, even though your R factor, so if that is equal to 1 and that's equal to 1, then you just keep adding it the same distance to get your R factor. That's a 5R swing trade to get full target based on this volume profile distribution. So your P, or probability of success, is probably very low because time is small right now. Okay, so that probably isn't a great trade today at this point. So markets do two. They stop in how many different ways? Let's go back further a little bit more. Markets go up and V reverse. So that's type 1, right? So first day, you have a probability of pushing back. Okay, that's type 1. Type 2 is what? Markets go up, they lose momentum, maybe a little fake out, and then they turn over. So that's type 2, right? What other types are there of reversals? I mean, just generally speaking, there's an instant reversal off the zone, or there's a consolidative, distributive loss of momentum that turns into a reversal. Which is more common?
I think consolidation.
I do too. That's like much more common. When you get the V reversal off highs, most people, or I guess I should say V reversal off highs, like here in this box, most people get immediately bearish. Same with lows. Okay, so if we go look at the daily chart, let me snap this back and then move the daily chart to do the same thing. That's a V reversal right here. It's a rare thing, right? And what typically happens when you get a V reversal like that is that when the market doesn't look back or even consolidate on these lows before, like this consolidation, like even this is a form of consolidation, right? Consolidation, little bit of consolidation, right? Could all be considered consolidation, then a move, right? Consolidation. This is like more, this very little, right? It had one signal inverted and then it just tore it up. It just kept going. Okay. So this is a V reversal. What these typically produce are breadth thrusts. Everyone expects pullback, continuation, right? Would you guys not agree?
I agree for
Yep.
sure.
Yep. Everyone expects that. And if I go look at Twitter right now, excuse me, they're all saying the same thing. Givaco, Larry Tintorelli, Seth, whatever his name is, Sashi Michel, right? These not huge names that I follow, but I follow for a long time. So Sashi Michel is a little bit of a market timer. But everybody at this point, because of this move, is kind of bullish. So these are the exception, not the rule. Okay, so with that in mind, oh God, where am I going? Here, yeah. With that in mind, excuse me, when we look at the 30-minute chart, if we reversed today, here, let me go back. After this big old move, all right, that would be like a V reversal off highs if we reversed in this session. So it's rarer to see that like this on the first day. It does happen. It does happen. But it's rarer. So if you get clues today, like Teddy was mentioning, oh, market looks like it's in balance. If you start seeing clues that a market is balancing, you're like leaving pin bars on this time frame to the upside, you're leaving it to the downside, then the likelihood of it happening today is probably pretty low. Like the market's telling you that it's pushing back to middle. Look, it might go get stops. It might try to do a false breakout. Probably comes back in though. And even if it goes down, it probably comes back in. So those are your clues. So I think it's okay to try. So the question is right now, because you're coming in to at a time of day, it's 8:35 for me at least in the morning, which is 11:35 Eastern. It's kind of garbage time, right? The pace is slow. It's it's definitely compressing. And if you're looking for a trade, you have to run through all of these steps to go on multiple time frames. How can I set up a trade for myself today? And so you have to ask these questions, these contextual questions about what are my probabilities of success on the time frame that I'm trading. Okay? So earlier we established on the very small time frame that it was compressing. Well, on that time frame things have already changed now, right? So in the time that you're analyzing, the market's already shifting and changing. Okay. So let me switch to that time frame. Hold on. All right. So here's that time frame. So we've gotten a 30-minute view. We've gotten a little bit of a daily view. We didn't really go over the weekly view. We didn't really go over the daily TPO chart. But for this, I'm saying that that's probably enough for us to have an idea that we're kind of balancing right now. So let's assume on the higher time frame that we're kind of balancing today. Okay. So where can we put on risk? In this chart, we've had moves go like this. We false broke, came back in, false broke, came back in, now making lower highs. And now we're against TDVUAP, OVUAP. There's look left structure here. This is likely, there's a lot of rings here, so there's some size players playing on the bid and the ask here. We can't really tell what's happening here very much because this profile is kind of smooth and balanced in here. We've got a distribution here, distribution here. It might be leaning ever so slightly for a move down in here. And I guess that would kind of make sense because if you look at the weekly profile and you look at, sorry, I got to switch screens. It's taking me a little bit here. Upper 4090 at Q. It's been a hot minute since I've done this, so I'm just a little slow. This weekly profile here is identical to the one you just saw, right? It's fairly balanced, but you have stops here. You have session value area low here. I know it says weekly, but because we're on day 1 of the week, it's equivalent exactly to value area low. So we've got stops to hit here, which is what? 6 points lower right here. So that'll probably hit. Okay, then we have this swing low here. So there's liquidity there. But then this pin bar, the more you start going into the middle of this pin bar, the more the longs start giving up in here. And then we're talking day traders right now. Okay, so then that makes it more appealing to target that area. But the question is, I got to switch screens again. Hold on. What does the order flow look like on this chart? We have a big blue devil here, right? So that's a magnet point, isn't it? And what that means is that someone came in on the ask very big, okay, and the market bought them here. They bought it, right? So someone was selling passively on the ask. Someone was willing to buy it. Okay, so short term, maybe this player here does trap the market, especially if we go back up, we test it the first time, and then they market sell it back through this area. Okay, cool. Then where does it lead? Weekly 2SD, which has been moving up, right? Each session moving up just a little bit here. You can see it just ever so slightly. Okay. So, okay, that maybe gives us now an idea based on the, are we still looking at the low time frame? Yeah, the low time frame where we might want to be targeting right now. All right, and I'm just trying to manufacture something. None of this is easy right now. This is all very hard, and I'm not willing to play this right now. So let's keep that in mind. But what you should be learning is the process of methodically going through the different time frames and searching for a trade, right? With all the different things that you've learned. Okay. All right. So now let's go look at the MBO. The MBO's thicker on this side. Some asks just came in here. Let's see if the market even comes and takes it. I don't think so. There's some 4 lots here. That's Gary liquidity. They took one of them. They took more of them. Here's value area low should get stops. Let's see. That would be the norm. But you know, butterflies, they flap their wings. You guys are all trading this now. So we'll just wait to see how this works. Right, so this is your local little breakdown point right here, right? Notice this bar. Here, let's zoom in like that. About like that would be a natural looking bar. Okay. This bar, as it comes up, it turns into, you got to look at the possibility for a hammer based on the open, right? So there's your open. So if this bar closes like that, it's this little hammer thing, right? All right. So, but did you see in real time as this thing comes up and forms this little pin bar, it gets sold? You're like, yeah, that's 4 points. You can scalp that 4 points. You're just pointing out that this is how it's moving. All right. So we're oscillating. So this is a major consolidation test, consolidation, test, market sell, consolidation here around TD VWAP. All right, let's go look at this. This is in a pullback, 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 consolidation. All right, let's go look at this. Amazon broke through VWAP. Didn't do what we thought. We thought it might come up first, then break down. Nope, it just went and found it right away. Okay. This is moving up. VWAP right underneath. Magnet for VWAP probably. Apple on prior structure here. Struggling at value area low. NASDAQ here. Made a lower high short term. Still think there's stops here. Right? Remember the 30-minute chart? Let's see if I can quickly. Upper 49 NQ. All right. Upper 49 NQ, right? In this area. All right. Found the liquidity on that bar, right? But what about the 50% of that pin bar? Oh, baby. Okay. So let's see if the E-mini has a similar structure here. I am looking. Hold on. Upper 49 ES. Right here. This chart here. Whoop. Yeah, a little hammer. So E-mini's pushing down. NASDAQ struggling, right? One tick value area stop. E-mini looks like it wants to push for this liquidity right here, right? 78.50. All right, that's good. And then you've got hammer stops down here, like down here. Is that a real hammer? Let's see. No, I don't think so. So maybe these stops here would be a nice local target, and that's about it. So do we get anything from the E-mini structure? Yeah, you might get from the fact, and I'm trying to manufacture trades. You might get here that this market goes here, but this isn't a true hammer. Maybe you find support down in here and shoot back up. All right. So looking at the E-mini doesn't inform you that much. It is more of a ledge. Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree that it is more of a ledge. And that's actually an interesting point. So Super Walnuts, aka Bob, points out in the chat that this E-mini profile is more like this, meaning extension, right? And the NASDAQ, which I got to switch over to real quick, or real slow. I'm picking up speed, slowly but surely. The NASDAQ is more balanced here. Like that. Right? Just has a different look. And what's interesting on NASDAQ is we saw this morning that NASDAQ was relatively stronger, right? Can we make a muscle arm? Let's see. Oh, no. Yeah. Oh, boy, that's bad. All right. Yeah, that looks like some sort of Loch Ness monster. Forget that. NASDAQ this morning was relatively stronger versus the E-mini. So when it's relatively stronger, they're buying more in volume at the taper. They're buying more in volume at the taper. So that actually explains the rotation into NASDAQ today, whereas the E-mini, a little bit different. Okay, so that's really interesting. Okay. So in the time it takes you to figure all of this out and talk it through, the market's still grinding down, right? It's following your thesis, but you can't take trades because you're too slow. So you have to do this much faster, obviously, right? You have to glance at things, get an idea, and keep moving. And that is why when you're doing this, practice is so important. Because if you're super slow in deciding all of this, the market's already gone. Right? If it takes you this long to go through methodically, the market's gone, which is why I say you guys got to practice nonstop. So, anyway, I think number one, I got to go bathroom, but number two, I got to blow my nose out. I got to take a break. So, hopefully that's kind of helpful.
It's very helpful.
Yeah, good. Good, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to blow my nose while you talk, or maybe ask questions, or someone asks questions or something. Because maybe then we could generate deeper conversation. Maybe I missed a few things here, right?
Mic off.
Man,
Mic on.
YouTube is the best, though. I mean, it's just so much better than stupid Vimeo. God, I hate Vimeo so much. NASDAQ bouncing a little at weekly 2SD, though. Oh, wait, I'm not even on that screen. Here, let's see. Cubate dominant chart. There you go. That's the weekly 2SD right here. Just bouncing there a bit. I think it's going to go right through it. The question is can you make a trade out of that? That is the question. So what if you could max size, I don't know, 10 contracts? If you think the weekly 2SD is going to get broken, like you're really committed to it, breaking, could you start entering trades right now? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so you say, well, then maybe the Blue Devil gets tested up here, right? But then you're like, oh shoot, this bar closed. I was hoping it's new 5 minute bar. I was hoping for this bar to come up and make it green, and then you could add short right here, just based on the PA. Roasting the PA traders, right? So that it would look like this. That's what I was hoping for. I lost track of that up there. That's okay. This is not really now a good, let's see, price action bar right here. But let's look at the volume though. Let's for this session. Let's see. A little bit of size coming in. Maybe that gets you in too short, right? But your max is 10. Marvin says, I have some fib questions. We're not going to cover the fib, Marvin, because the fib, I'm going to do a separate basic video for that. If we start covering fib, which we've covered in the group live a bunch of times, it will be very confusing for the people that aren't able to be here during the day, and there's a fair number of them. Yeah, it's okay. So another point that, let's say if I really believe that that's going to break, is above TD VWAP. And maybe that's more interesting. So I take and I add 3 contracts right there. And then another point is, of course, the BBWC point right here, which is also our VWAP. But I want to wait for a reaction because I'm starting to feel overextended. Okay. Here's my stops. I think all these are eventually going to break. But I want to be 10 contracts short. These are the areas that I'm thinking about adding, right? So right here. And then I say, oh, I see this IA. I really think this is going to break. And I think it's going to break because, oh, we have another red hammer candle now on the 30-minute. You guys can't see it. I can't switch fast enough. Here. We'll just do it. Switch it. Upper 49. Right here. See how this forms? All right. So that's an area that I want to take some contracts in. And then I switch to myself and I go, oh, there's an IA high. I think to myself, oh, if we go up to 215 right here on this time frame, I'm okay with going 10 contracts just based on the hammer. So you go boop, 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 boop. And what does that get us to? 9, 10. Now, your thesis is changed on the short term that this shouldn't turn blue, right? This hammer should be resistive. So then you move your stop here. Okay. And you say, well, okay, where am I targeting? Down here, right? Okay. So where is 1R? So for you guys who are really 1R strugglers, you just use this tool up here, right here. And then you just put it on red. So it's a short position. And then like that. Okay. So 1R is here. We're like, I want to get out above 1R. All right. That's good. Okay. Like that. And then this is the break of that low. Okay. The top of the gap, trade into the gap, then away, Mike always says. Okay. We're going to say into, then away. I got my runners because I don't really know what's going to happen. So that's my setup. Right? So that's if this is wrong, oh well. And now I've scaled in. 224. Excuse me. I don't think so. I don't think so. Does that look like a neckline to you? Nah, come on. Where's the neckline? I don't see anything. Doesn't even exist here. Whatever. Okay, so that's one way. We don't even have to care about this playing out right now and watch it in real time. We can just move on to the next setup. So, and that's what I'm going to do. All right, so we're going to clear the sim. All right, clear it out. Now, the next setup would be maybe a scalp setup. Okay. And it would be, all right, you've got right here and right here. And if this is the breakdown point right here, and we could see that it's been reactive, right, at that exact level. Okay, so it's working, but the next trade might be, okay, let's say that this...
Super Walnut said you're still on 30M.
Oh, shit. Thank you very much, sir. I was on 30M the whole time? Stupid. So you missed that last explanation. All right. So what I had done was I had entered short here. I entered short here. I entered a bunch more short here. And then the average was somewhere in here with the stop right up here. 1R was here or around here maybe, something like that. And then I was saying, okay, you scale out below the lows, trade into the gap. And then I had the tool like this, your stop up here, your average entry about here or something. So it looked like that. So you were 10 contracts short with an average. And I was just saying that's a setup, right? It's a potential setup. Okay. And I was saying, oh, and then Mike says to trade into the gap. So I was scaling out here like that. And then I had my runner down here because, if T+1 breaks, what's been happening? 5 to 6 points. NASDAQ curls through, loses momentum, then shoots back through. So I said, okay, maybe down here. The final exit. So then I was saying, okay, it doesn't matter. I cleared this sim here, cleared out of that position. And then I said, okay, what would be the next trade? The next trade might be up in this area. We've got this consolidation. And I was pointing out here, right, where we broke down. That was the breakdown point, kind of reactive right now into structure, probably showing a little bit of strength. So the next trade might be an entry here on the IA line, right? And this one, if it shoots up and then consolidates in here, you might even enter here with the stop up here, looking for what? This red devil. Okay, so if we put a fib tool on this guy, if that happens, and you enter like that, this tool, when it's trying to find your entry, or when you're initially putting on, it doesn't move per tick. It's a Sierra. See that how it's smooth now? It's a Sierra chart error. Okay. So it would be like that, and then you're actually looking at a 3.8 R factor trade in this area. Okay, so showing a little bit of resistance, a little bit of size sitting there. All right, let's just try it. Okay, let's put our stop up there. All right, there you go. All right, so it's a little off. I think it's a little off, but pretty close. All right, so let's see if it takes it out. All right, big size player got rolled over. Let's try again. We're back in the same position here. Where's our stop going to be? Let's just say right up at the highs. Stops at the highs. There's ice up there. Okay, it took it. It took it. Now, okay, that didn't work out. You abandoned it. Okay. Now you have an IA high. It's happening quick. here. I think it's going to be hard to see on the YouTube. I can see that little yellow line, so I'm going to switch over to this chart. You see how it like shows you a little bit like more like that.
Super Walnut said I see it.
Yeah, well, you've got sharp eyes, Mr. Bob. Anyway, by the time that this IA high developed and I'm talking, I can't talk and trade at the same time that fast, right? Because I have to go like this when I'm pointing and talking to you guys. So it's already gone. Maybe I should just start clicking, but then you missed the explanation. I think I'd rather have the explanation. Anyway, so if when this IA high went off, you got in this area, you put a stop over the high, you're targeting this area here, that would be 1, 2, 2.25 Rs. You could even probably tighten the stop up to here, like the 229s. So that it looked like this, right? So if you got in here, you could say, oh, that shouldn't get retested. Okay, so there's your entry. And then you're targeting this area. So if you were short here, you'd just be patiently waiting for this to come back in. All right, so then maybe you go, hey, you know, I'm this 50 rule guy. I like to target that, right? Okay, even better. That's like 7R, right? Then you say, oh, well, TDV wet breaks, and then maybe the 618 traders get roasted. Okay. 6, 8, 9. So 8.5R to trade back to this area. You're like, well, what are you talking about? Fib guy. I don't know what that is. Okay, well, this is like use your little fib tool. Maybe you have it, maybe you don't. All right, you just put it on the low to the high. So all the people who like to take these trades here, you love using Fibonacci retracement. So 50%, it's easy, right? You just say, take the high, low, cut it in half. It's a good spot to take off. All right. But there's all these people who want to buy this pullback, and they usually try to buy in here, and they put a tight stop in. And so they usually run the stops of these Fibonacci traders. It's a pretty common thing when they're in about this time of day. It's 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is garbage time. They can easily find the liquidity underneath here, stop everybody out. You'll usually see the tape light up light pink. Boom. They all get roasted, and then the market turns and whoosh goes up. They found the liquidity. They found the weak hands. So kind of a cool setup. Am I on the right screen? Yeah, I think I am. Okay, good. Anyway, Mike's talking. He's not fast enough. Hold it up by the tick levels are potential stop hunts there. I don't understand, Marvin. So, so what some traders like to do is they look at this little consolidation and they see this bubble and they want to get out of their shorts here. And there's nothing wrong with that. Some scalpers will get out here and wait for this move and reshort. And there's your IA, right? They will reshort this move. But potentially at the expense of missing all of a bigger move. And you got to be okay with that. If you're going to play like that, then be okay with that. Hold it by the tick. I'm still trying to understand your question, Marvin. It's okay. I'm glad you're asking it. I just don't understand. Hold it or held by the tick levels are potential stop hunts there. Held by the tick levels. Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. I'm still not understanding exactly. You're going nuanced on the fib. There'll be a separate video for fib at some point in the future. I'm I'm generalizing on the fib. Marvin wants to go next level deep. I told Marvin, hey, Marvin, I'm not going to do fibs. He's still like, oh, but I'm persistent. I will find a way to do fibs. Good for you, man. That's what I'm talking about. Marvin's a business owner. So Marvin knows how to dig when he wants to dig. Marvin's got that persistency to him. I love it. I'm the same way, Marvin. When I want to know something, I keep digging. We'll get there, man. We'll get there. All right. And you know, for you guys who don't trade fibs, let's see, hold on. This area here is called the golden ratio. Just right here. For all the idiot traders, right? It's called the golden ratio. Oh man, where is it? I can't get to it. What the hell? That's so weird. Let's see if I can get there. Yeah, see? It's a drawing tool thing. See that? It's really weird. When you first, here's what it is. When you first, hey, there's the 618. So you got your target. When you first, here's what's messing up in Sierra chart. When you first place a chart drawing tool, it wants to use the volume multiplier to get the level. Once it's already placed, it refers back to the chart tick settings. Here, I'll show you. Watch. I understand it a little bit. Do you see this right here? How it's 0.25? The initial drawing, right? Let's say you're putting fibs and you're like trying to get the tick. It doesn't use this tick size. It uses this. It uses volume at price multiplier for intraday chart 4. So it wants to go every point. You'll see that. As soon as you snap the drawing and then let it go, right? And then the fibs are drawn in, it no longer uses this volume price multiplier in Sierra chart for adjusting. It goes back to the symbol and allows you to do it by tick size. That's a setting within Sierra chart. They messed up with chart drawings. It should never be using volume multiplier. It should be using the ticks. Always. Now watch. There's probably a setting in there that they created just for this solution. But I have no idea that it exists. So maybe I'll look for it. I don't know. Maybe that's one of the settings that I've seen. I go, what the heck does that do? That doesn't make any sense. Maybe it does exist in there. I doubt it. But it does. It drives me a little nuts, right? Because this is only giving me points for the most part. Oh, and now it does ticks. Look. Oh, it's going to make me look like this. Well, I don't know why it's doing that right now. Let's see. Maybe it's too scrunched up. Oh, I think I realized what it is. No? What the heck? Now it's nice and smooth. Look. Oh, now it's not. Look. See that? I think it has to do with the global settings. I think I figured it out. I gotta find it. Might be in general settings. I'm gonna end up sharing some password or something. No. GUI. The scroll multiplier. No. The small pixel amount Scaling factor. That's for GUI. Windows. Charts. My throat's starting to hurt now, guys, so I have to be careful about talking anymore. My wife and I have now had, my wife has had this thing where she can barely swallow for over about a week now. I'm on day 4, maybe 3 or 4, where it's hard. And then this morning it was good. And then when I woke up, but I was just really. Wait. I think my wife's coming home. I hear my wife. Or, hold on. There's something. Hold on. Yeah, quick, Melissa. I heard something. Let's see. Ah, weird. Yeah, I don't know what that sound was. It was definitely like a roar. Sounded like the garage door. Weird. Strange. All right. Anyway, back to the office here. Nothing. Charts maybe decrease chart. A scroll multiplier does not. The small pixel amount scaling factor. 1. I wonder if I did 0.25. Does it even allow it? Ooh, there it goes. You guys see all that? All right, let's see. Yeah, well, we'll see if that works. Let's see. It made all the charts reload, which is interesting. It seems to struggle like that. See that? Up here it seems okay now, huh? But like that is weird. Yep. So it probably has something to do with the stop loss being too tight or the pixels being too small. Let me see this real quick. What if I went like this? Maybe it's just my error. Yeah, it is. See? It's just my error. Let me switch this back to small pixel amount scaling factor 1. And then apply all. It's going to reload everything again. Probably just my error. Wop, babaloo, bop, bala, bop, bang. Oh boy. So your chart did not like what I just did. Okay. What do we got to do? We got to zoom. Oops. What a struggler. All right. Zoom up. Let's go. Stop here. Yeah, see, that's fine. See? I just got to be more zoomed. The pixels are too small. Ah, it's just my fault. See? Just got to be more zoomed in when I'm setting it. Yeah, my problem is I'm in a screen like this trying to put this on. Some nature and tea, right? Anyway, I think this is long enough. How long is this stream? Let's see. Um, since 8:15, so like an hour. Yeah, good enough. Anyway, I've got to say this for the video. If you guys have any questions, please ask them in the correlating. Oh, gotta do it again. If you guys have any questions about the content in this video, please ask questions in the Discord post associated with this video. Thank you and happy trading.